And joining us right now to talk about it is Toni Sacconaghi. He is Bernstein Senior Research Analyst, and he's got a rating of a market perform on Apple with a $195 price target. Tony, you said most of these changes were evolutionary, not revolutionary. No huge surprises?
Good morning, Becky. No surprises at all. Sort of the information about Apple and leaks about its products have become more and more efficient over time. And so not only were the products largely in line with, almost exactly in line with what people thought, but even the distinctive features and capabilities from the processors and the cameras were largely anticipated. And there was no form factor change on any products. The iPhones are still the same size. They're a little bit faster. They're a little bit brighter. They have better cameras. And ditto for the watches. And that was largely anticipated. But there was no unique breakthrough in any of the products. And again, that was largely anticipated.
The one thing you did say that was a little contrary to expectations is that they didn't raise prices in China where you might have anticipated it just because of the weaker yuan.
Yeah, there was some expectation that Apple actually might raise prices on the Pro models in particular across the world, in part because there's titanium casing that costs more, and also because you do have a 5x effectively telephoto camera built in. And so I think there was some expectation that Apple may raise price, and it did not domestically. Now, internationally, Apple typically raises or changes its price to reflect currency. And given that the yuan had weakened, that would sort of have pointed to the fact that Apple likely would have raised price in China. It did that in Japan, for instance, because the yen has weakened. It did not. And that might be a reflection of the fact that the Chinese smartphone market is pretty tough right now. And obviously, there have been recent reports that have stated that, the Chinese government may prevent iPhones in government agencies going forward. And so, Apple may also have been sensitive to the fact that they didn't really want to be in the news for having raised prices.
Yeah, and you think that's because of the pressure they've faced recently over China and the back and forth political backlash where you can't bring them into the office if you work for a government agency there, other potential places too?
Yeah, I think it's probably a function of that, and also a function of the fact that the smartphone market in China in particular has been quite weak over the last year. We now also have Huawei entering the 5G market, re-entering the 5G market in China with its Mate 60 product. So I think it's a combination of those three things: a weak smartphone market, some incremental competition from Huawei, and the fact that there has been, these, potential orders that iPhones will not be allowed in government agencies, and that Apple may be fearful about, contagion to the broader consumer base in China.
Tony, where do you land on this whole USB-C switch? There is an argument, and maybe it cuts both ways, that there are some individuals, families, and the like that will buy new phones simply because they want to get rid of all these old plugs and want to get on one standard. There's another argument to be made that maybe there's folks who said, look, we got all these plugs lying around. Let's not invest in a new phone. Let's wait this out and try to amortize what we've got as long as we can.
I think at the margin, it might be a modest negative. Consumers tend to be pretty inertial. And I think many consumers have tons of lightning cables for their iPhones in their offices or in their cars and, by their bedside. And so collectively changing all of those may be, just one small hesitancy for iPhone buyers. I think at the end of the day, it's not a big deal either way. But if I put myself, in my shoes as a consumer, ultimately, I feel that I got a lot of these cables lying around, and they're in many different places. And do I really want to change them all? And when you get the new iPhone, you get a cable, but you don't get a brick associated with it.